around type idea, that's what heaven is.
Randy Alcorn, author of the book Heaven, takes exception to the myth that heaven is somehow boring.
And so you got all these depictions of cloudy things and spirits floating around and all of that. And to a lot of people, that's deadly dull. It's boring. Well, there's a reason that seems boring. It's because God has made you not only a spiritual person, but a physical person. Physicality is part of the essence of who we are. That was God's idea. And that's what he's going to restore in the resurrection.
In the Gospel of Matthew, Jesus said, "Many will come from the east and the west and will take their places at the feast with Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob in the kingdom of heaven."
Jesus said, "I won't eat and drink with you again until I do so in my kingdom," meaning he's going to eat and drink with us in the kingdom, as he did in his resurrection body. What a great thing, what a great promise.
When we think of the bliss of those who died with Christ, it is really inexpressible, and it's beyond our imagination.
Dr. Erwin Lutzer, pastor of Moody Church in Chicago, says the joys of heaven are far from boring.
In fact, the Bible says that eye has not seen and ear has not even heard the things that God has prepared for those who love him. But the contrast between that and those who die without Christ, the gap is huge and unfathomable, and we're unable to grasp it.
Josh McDowell was confronted by the myth that hell is fun while talking with a young man.
We sat there and I shared my testimony, went through the 4 laws, a few of the things. He said, "I know I'm going to hell. I know all my friends are going there." And he said, "Whenever we get together, we have a pretty good time." I said, "Tell you what, this is what hell will be like. It's a real place. And I believe there are real flames, but probably the biggest flames would be the flames of desire. Whatever controlled your life in this lifetime, your burning desires and all, are going to be 1,000 times greater in hell, but absolutely no way to satisfy them." And I said, I believe ultimately in hell, you're going to realize everything you ever missed at Christ.
6 months later, the young man came to saving faith in Jesus Christ. But there are many more myths about heaven and hell that conflict with a biblical view.
Oh, I've had several near-death experiences. I believe when you die, if you're good, you go to heaven, and if you're bad, you go to hell.
And I think we need to continue coming back until we get our spirit to be right.
You come back as perhaps a pelican or a free spirit, a dolphin, a whale.
We need to understand that reincarnation is not biblical. The book of Hebrews is very clear. It is appointed unto man once to die, and after death the judgment. There is such a thing as the finality of death. Now, up until that point, there may be near-death experiences, and we've got a lot of literature about what happens. But the fact is, once you are actually dead, you'll die only once. It'll be final, and after that comes the judgment.
When Jesus says, "You shall know the truth, and the truth shall make you free," that he is the way, the truth, and the life. If we come to him, we will find deliverance, we'll find victory from both the penalty of sin and the power of sin. But he is the way, and any aberration of that and distortion of that will have eternal consequences.
This I know. I know Jesus, and I know who he is. I know how he transformed my life, and I know what he did for me on the cross. And that's the basis of the happy ending in eternity for all who know him.